So, The Guardian has a YouTube channel. Yeah, it has a YouTube channel, and I was sifting through it, and I found 3 videos that I think I ought to take a look at, because let's just say that they are all fascinating insights that I think you all should see. But that is in due course. I don't want to saturate the channel with Guardian videos. I won't be doing 3 in a row, but let's just say that I will be responding to these videos in due course. And you can basically just predict exactly what the channel is all about. Social justice, regressivism, all the things that makes the modern Guardian what it is. Oh, how you long for the days of the Manchester Guardian, eh, people? So anyway, this video is entitled, Are You Racist? No, isn't a good enough answer. Marlon James. And I'll give you 3 guesses as to what ethnicity Marlon James happens to be. Because apparently to him, no is not enough to fight racial injustice in Britain.
Hello everyone, this is Champion. Ugh! Damn it, I can't see a thing in this.
Oh hell no, I'm not racist at all. I mean, I've not espoused any of that bullshit. Ever, you know? Ever. I mean, I'm mixed race. How can I be racist?
So I have a question for you. Are you non or are you anti?
So basically, he's trying to say that being non-racist is not the same as anti-racist. That is bullshit. To me, they are one and the same. To be non-racist means you are anti-racist. If you are not racist, you do not like racism. I can't see how the two are different. But hey, he's going to try and conflate the two into completely different things because social justice. That's why, people.
Several months ago, in response to Ferguson, Baltimore, the killings of Freddie Gray and Tamir Rice, my friend Caitlin put up a Facebook post breaking down the difference between non-racism and anti-racism. Most of us are non-racist. Because racism is looked upon as some moral lapse, we feel quite self-assured by simply not being racist.
Well, yeah, I think you'll find that everyone who is non-racist happens to be anti-racist, because as you said, it's a moral lapse. It's immoral to be racist, to judge people on arbitrary characteristics. But, you know, that's not enough for you lot, is it? It's never enough. I also fail to see what Ferguson has to do with British politics, but go on ahead.
I'm not a bigot. I don't sing that N-worm when my favorite rap jam comes on.
Brother, please, just use the word, alright? Don't censor yourself.
I didn't vote for that guy. I'm not burning any crosses. I'm not a skinhead.
History lesson for you, and you should know this considering you're Caribbean, mate. Skinheads originally were meant to be white people hanging out with black people. They shaved their heads to look like you. And they loved ska music, they loved rocksteady, they loved reggae. It was only later in the 70s when the NF and the fascists saw that the image looked very interesting and intimidating. Did they adopt that and then either, I don't know, indoctrinated a few skinheads into their movement or just took over the image for themselves, and therefore skinheads now have that connotation. And it's the same in America. You should know that. You should know the history behind that. But, you know, we're going to be stereotypical here because apparently, you know, racist. We're not racist here. Or are we? Are you those non-racists? Or are you an anti-racist? You should know this nuance, mate. It sounds very similar to something that social justice warriors have been doing with their own fashion recently. But hey, you know, whatever. Completely different. Totally different.
I don't, I won't, I'm not, I've never, I can't. What you end up with is an entire moral stance, an entire code for living your life and dealing with all the injustice in the world by not doing a damn thing.
How do you know that they've not done anything? How do you know this? You're asserting without evidence, Marlon. Just because they say these words doesn't mean that they haven't tried to do something about it, you know? In fact, you could say this a lot about anybody of any race, but it seems to be that you're only talking about a specific race here, and we all know who that is.
That's the great thing about none. You can pull it off by simply rolling over in your bed and going to sleep. So why are you sitting at home and watching things unfold on TV instead of doing something about it?
You keep using footage from either 30 years ago, like those skinheads were, or maybe they were very recent skinheads. There's not a lot of skinheads left anyway, and not all of them are racist. Some of them are racist, some of them are not, some of them are neutral, don't give a shit. Non-racist, as you say. People who are more problematic than these racists, apparently. Yeah. Why are you using footage from Ferguson when you're addressing a largely British audience? What can a largely British audience do about racism in America? What can we do there? We can do nothing but show moral support for some people. That's all we can do. Why not show some local examples? Or are some of the local examples just inconvenient for you, I wonder?
Because you're a non-racist, not an anti-racist. Now do this for me.
There is no difference, Marlon, no matter how hard you try to spin it. If you are non-racist, you are therefore anti-racist. You cannot be non-racist without being anti-racist. But because of your social justice, because of your ideology, you have to say that there's a difference. For some bizarre reason that I cannot begin to fathom right now, other than because you want people to join up and spread the disease that is social justice. If you are so angered by racism, why is it that you're only interested in racism that happens to your own race? Because all you've shown is black people getting victimised against white people. White people doing the victimising rather than, maybe racism everywhere. You only seem to be interested in one battle. Maybe that is the real difference between non-racists and anti-racists. Anti-racists are agenda-driven race baiters, maybe. This is just hypothetical. I'm not even trying to judge you. This is just what I'm seeing from this video. While non-racists are truly anti-racist because they don't take that bullshit from both sides and call you out on it. They call out the racism. They defend people. They don't necessarily have to go out protesting to do it, but the fact that they exist shows that there is a large front. The fact that they find it morally reprehensible is enough, right? That they're on your side. But no, you're making enemies out of these people because that's what you lot do. You divide rather than bring together. I've waffled on long enough. Please continue.
Take the C out of racist and replace it with a P. I'm not a rapist. I'm not friends with any rapist. I didn't buy that rapist last album. All these things that you're not doing. Meanwhile, people are still getting raped.
Yeah, because rapists are gonna rape. They're psychopaths. That's what they do. They have this thing inside of their heads that makes them do this. There's nothing we can do about it. They're always going to exist. This is a terrible analogy already. It's almost similar, but not quite, because you see, attitudes can be changed over time. That is testament to human history, that we will change our attitudes. Not everyone will change their attitudes, but will become more fringe. But eventually, that attitude will die out. It always does, in the end. Rapists, they've always been around since humans have been around. So, apples and oranges, mate. But, you know what? Maybe I stopped him too soon. Let's see what he has to say. In fact, since you just completely dropped that point very quickly as I watched the video entirely now, it seems that you forget one glaring error. Do you remember Rotherham? Do you remember the Rotherham rape scandal, where those Pakistani ringleaders, those paedophiles, were grooming white girls to have sex with them and to abuse them? How they got away with it for all those years? Why do you think they got away with it? Because the police were scared of being considered racist, despite the fact both communities were telling them to sort this all out because it's becoming a problem. For 10 years, I think it was, they allowed it to continue. So, please, tell me again, is it you lot who are the problem or these non-racists? Because the innocents who were simply trying to protect girls by telling the police were non-racists, while the people who covered this up were anti-racists. So, using your own terminology, you are the problem.
And black boys are being killed. It's not enough that you don't do these things. You're going to bed with a clear conscience is not going to stop college students from getting assaulted.
These college kids also happen to be in areas where less rapes occur than the national average, but never mind, the gender must take preference. And again, you only care about these black boys. I mean, I personally care about them too, because I have a cousin who is black, and I'm worried about him all the time as well, because he is my cousin, he's almost like a brother to me. But I also worry about all the other kids, and all the other cousins that I have, of different nationalities and colours. I worry about them too. Do you? Because it seems like you're only anti-racist for your own race, but not for everyone else, it seems. You're just a non-racist, a non-rapist. When it comes to, say, I don't know, men, maybe? Lesbians? Gay men?
You thinking climate change is terrible is not going to stop climate change. You being so assured that you're not anti-black, anti-Muslim won't stop the next hate crime.
Yeah, and you only caring about one certain branch of humanity rather than everyone is not going to stop the rest of it, is it? Your own argument fails. You are your own worst enemy. I mean, just look at the like to dislike ratio on your own video. Even Guardian readers do not agree with you.
And it's wonderful that you recognize how brave gay people are when facing persecution, but they aren't the ones who need to be brave. We need to get active. We need to hold people accountable.
You're holding the wrong people accountable. You're basically saying that because you're a non-racist, you're making racists less accountable for their actions, making them more numerous and letting them get away with everything, while you just stand there proselytizing bullshit and not really taking into account all the shit that is happening to everyone, but only the progressive stack people. And that is something that I cannot stand, and it is what your own readers and viewers cannot stand.
We need to accept that what hurts one of us hurts all of us.
Well, you haven't. You just contradicted yourself there. You're only interested in the people that hurt your own people and, I don't know, Muslim hate and gay hate, etc., and women who get raped. But you're not interested in the white girls who are abused in Rotherham. You're not interested in the white people who have had, I don't know, actual racism. You don't care about the mixed race people who've had to suffer racism. You only seem to care about the progressive stat. And blaming people who have not done anything wrong, who have not propagated anything. I know what you're trying to say, that inaction causes this shit to happen, but you don't know if these people are being inactive just because they say, I'm not racist. How can being, no, I'm not racist is not enough? When it's clear, after years and years and years of civil rights, look where we are. And now you're trying to, I don't know, destroy all that because of gender.
And we need to stop thinking that injustice going on in the world isn't to an extent our fault. We need to stop being none and start being anti.
Wow, so injustice around the world is our fault now, is it? It's our fault. It's our fault because Ferguson was my fault as a British person living 6,000 miles away, 8,000 miles away, however long it is my fault for not doing anything? It's my fault for not doing anything? Do you realise that is a stupid logic? That is stupid logic. That my inaction here caused that over there. That doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen at all. You're basically saying, if you do not join my cause, you are part of the problem and you have to be dealt with. That's what you're saying. You're causing people to panic and pick sides. You want people to pick sides. Why can't they just be people who hate racism? Being anti-racist doesn't mean that you're going to solve racism, as it's clear with your video right here. And the Guardian readers, they disagree with you. But hey, whatever. I'm going to start repeating myself. So, I'll end the video here. See you later, people.